About with Nurmagomedov in the just in front foot. Every time he's going.
Are you tired of hearing about the same old MMA fighters? Well, we've got a treat for you. Meet Said Nurmagomedov, a name you might not recognize yet, but trust us, you'll want to remember it. This unassuming fighter may not have the fame of some of his counterparts, but he's been making a name for himself in the octagon with his ruthless skills and unbeatable drive. Said is the true definition of a dark horse in the bantamweight division, and we're here to take a deep dive into his fighting journey so far. From his humble beginnings to his most impressive wins, we'll cover it all. And of course, we'll also be discussing his potential to become the next big champion and exploring the options available to him. Picture this: a young boy growing up in Makashkala, playing football with his friends, dreaming of making it big one day. But as fate would have it, he found his true calling in a sport that's not for the faint of heart, pankration. And from there, he delved into the world of MMA under the watchful eye of his trainer, Mansur Uchak. Said Nurmagomedov's passion for fighting was evident from the start, as he won his first professional fight at the tender age of 17. Despite his early success, Said spent the next 3.5 years fighting exclusively as an amateur, racking up an impressive collection of trophies in tournaments organized by the MMA Union of Russia. But it was in 2013 that Said really made his mark, winning the championship title in the 66-kilogram weight category at the World Championship. And he didn't just win, he dominated, finishing all of his opponents, including future fighter Sergey Morozov, in the very first round. It was a clear indication of the unstoppable force that Said Nurmagomedov was destined to become. MMA career. After becoming a world champion at just 21 years old, he resumed his professional career and quickly gained a reputation as a force to be reckoned with in local tournaments. But it was his invitation to compete in the bantamweight category Grand Prix that really put him on the map. In the first stage, he faced off against Agilan Tokhtarbev, and once again, Said proved that he was a cut above the rest. He dominated the match, while his opponent resorted to wild strikes. The result? A well-deserved unanimous decision win for Nurmagomedov. But he wasn't done yet. In the quarterfinals, he faced Nurmagomedov Khazriev, the winner of the World Cup. This was no easy feat, but Said managed to maintain the initiative. Despite Khazriev's best efforts, he was knocked down, and the fight continued until the very last seconds. But in the end, it was Nurmagomedov who emerged victorious once again.
Nurmagomedov!
And as if that wasn't impressive enough, in the semifinals, Said went up against undefeated German Barseghian, who challenged him to a test of their wrestling skills. But Said was more than up for the challenge, quickly gaining side control and inflicting knee and body strikes that injured Barseghian's ribs. In the end, Barseghian was unable to continue, and Nurmagomedov was declared the winner. It's clear that this fighter is on the rise and ready to take on the best of the best in the MMA world. In the final, Said faced the world champion in Universal Karate, Nurmagomedov. The fighter from Chechnya constantly pushed forward and kept changing stances. Nurmagomedov tried to respond, but noticeably lacked the physical strength. The fight continued in this style for all 3 rounds and ended in a victory for Bibulatov, who claimed the main trophy for himself. Said calmly accepted the defeat, but the failure in the octagon was overshadowed by a severe injury, a torn cruciate ligament. After a 2-year hiatus, he returned to the MMA scene and signed a contract with the Akhmat Fighting Club, joining their namesake promotion where he became part of another Grand Prix in a new league. In this Grand Prix, he faced Diego Marlon and absolutely dominated in all aspects of the fight, delivering multi-combo strikes that left the Brazilian fighter reeling. Even when Marlon tried to switch to grappling, Said proved too difficult to pin down. In the end, Nurmagomedov's relentless assault paid off, and he won the fight, advancing to the final.
Все 3 раунда, особенно первая половина 5 минуток у нас. О, дали, что победа вот-вот она близка.
The vacant championship title was up for grabs at the 30th ACMAT tournament, and Said Nurmagomedov was ready to make a name for himself. His opponent Abdul Rahman Dudayev was no slouch either, with a series of 8 wins under his belt. From the first seconds, both fighters set a blistering pace, trading brutal strikes and grappling for dominance.
Но понимает Рахман Дудаев. Да, еще одно попадание, тяжелое, и на ближней дистанции. И еще один бросок.
While Nurmagomedov had the edge in striking, Dudayev was confident in his grappling skills, making it risky for Said to engage in close combat.
Не следует с таким оппонентом. Вот сейчас вновь на ближней дистанции.
As the fight wore on, the initiative kept shifting between the two fighters, with no clear leader emerging. But in the 5th and final round, Nurmagomedov dug deep and summoned all his strength to make a decisive push. And in a stunning display of grit and determination, he emerged victorious, claiming the championship belt at the tender age of 24. After a brief hiatus, Said signed with the ACMAT Fighting Club and joined their namesake promotion, where he once again participated in a Grand Prix. With 5 consecutive victories, he faced Brazilian fighter Anderson dos Santos, whom he quickly overpowered with his impeccable technique. Said's talent did not go unnoticed, and he was soon approached by leading international promotions. Before heading west, Said had one more hurdle to cross, the later Grand Prix finalist Luis Nogueira. The fight saw Said completely control the octagon with his creative technique and jumping ability. Despite Nogueira's attempts to work on the counter, Said maintained his distance and emerged victorious with a unanimous decision. UFC career. He signed a contract and headed to the United States to prepare for his debut on the biggest stage in MMA. Nurmagomedov was already training with the best in the business, but he decided to join the gym of renowned specialist Mark Henry. There, he trained alongside some of the biggest names in combat sports and prepared for his first fight in the Battlefield Fighting Championship (BFC). The 26-year-old's opponent in his debut UFC fight was no pushover. He faced off against Justin Scoggins, a black belt in karate, in the featherweight category.
Love for fashion. Oh, lovely setup there.
In the first round, Nurmagomedov displayed his skill and countered his opponent's attacks smartly. However, Scoggins came back strong in the second round, landing heavy blows on the ground. The fight's outcome was decided in the final round, where Nurmagomedov showed his mettle yet again, earning a split decision victory.
There's the final horn.
Said Nurmagomedov.
Said Nurmagomedov was faced with a major decision when rumors circulated about the dissolution of the flyweight division. After some contemplation, he decided to move back up to his familiar weight category of 61 kilograms. In his next fight, Said faced off against Brazilian fighter Ricardo Ramos, who was known for his unorthodox style and impressive record of 0 losses.
Oh! He got him! Ricardo Ramos.
The matchup promised to be a thrilling clash of styles, with Ramos' unpredictability pitted against Nurmagomedov's disciplined technique. The two fighters met in Brazil, and from the opening bell, it was clear that this would be a fight for the ages. The first round saw both fighters showcasing their skills, with Nurmagomedov landing some strong strikes while Ramos countered with his trademark creativity.
For Said Nurmagomedov.
As the rounds went on, it was clear that Nurmagomedov had the edge in terms of control and technique. He landed 2 spinning back kicks to the liver, hitting the mark precisely and folding the Brazilian in half. Despite Ramos' best efforts, Nurmagomedov remained calm and composed, ultimately earning a unanimous decision victory. Said Nurmagomedov's journey in the octagon took him to South Korea, where he was set to face a formidable opponent in Ronnie Barcelos. The Brazilian was on a 7-fight win streak and was inching closer to the top 15 rankings. But Said was not one to back down from a challenge. He kept his distance, displaying his signature kicking style, but Ronnie was quick to respond with jabs and relentless pressure. The fight was evenly matched, with neither fighter gaining a clear advantage. In an attempt to gain an upper hand, Said went for another spinning kick, but it backfired, and he was taken down. That takedown proved to be a turning point in the match, as the judges ultimately declared Ronnie as the winner. His opponent Mark Striegel was making his UFC debut, and it seemed like Said was eager to welcome him to the big leagues. Striegel charged forward, but he was caught with a check that stunned him. Nurmagomedov didn't hesitate and took advantage of the opening, finishing the fight in just 50 seconds. Following his impressive victory, Said was given a spot on the main card for the first time. He was up against the tough Cody Stamann, who was once a top 10 fighter. As soon as the fight began, Nurmagomedov showcased his signature striking, forcing Stamann to go for a takedown. However, Said was ready for it and quickly locked in a guillotine.
Nice.
Securing another submission victory in under a minute. With this win, Said earned his first $50,000 bonus for the best performance of the night. It's clear that he's a force to be reckoned with in the featherweight division, and fans are eagerly awaiting his next fight to see what he'll do next. Said Nurmagomedov has come a long way since his early days as a rising star in the MMA world. He's fought in various promotions, traveled the world, and faced off against some of the best fighters in the sport. Today, he's only one step away from entering the ranks of the top 15 contenders in the bantamweight division. What's even more interesting is that there are now two Nurmagomedovs in the UFC who are making waves in the MMA world. Said's cousin, Khabib, is a retired MMA legend who dominated the lightweight division during his time in the UFC. If you're a fan of MMA and want to keep up with Said Nurmagomedov's journey, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. We'll keep you updated on all the latest news, highlights, and analysis from the world of MMA. We'll keep you updated on all the latest news, highlights, and analysis from the world of MMA.